Valve's Deadlock playtest is out, and if you came from Overwatch, you might be wondering who best fits my main in this game. You know, who's the Genji of this cast, or who feels the most like Reaper? If you are still pondering who to play, then don't worry, because I'm going to be going through each of the current Deadlock heroes and picking an Overwatch character that best compares to them. Remember, not every pick will be a perfect match, but I will be using abilities and playstyle to find similarities between both rosters. First up, we got ABRAMS, and he is a tanky character with great mobility. This guy's gonna hunt you down with his charge, pin you against the wall, and one-punch you before you even realize what's happening. This one's kinda obvious, so if you played lots of Reinhardt in the past, then I'm sure ABRAMS will be very fun to use. Both have an ultimate where they can stun the entire enemy team, and both do want to get in close to deal big damage. Just, you know, one has a big hammer while the other has a book. BEBOP is a robot with a crazy long-range grab. If he catches you, then you better pray his bomb doesn't one-shot you. While he may not have a shotgun, he most definitely plays like Roadhog. Both require the player to land hooks often to pick off enemy heroes one by one. If you are a beast with the hog, then you're gonna do just fine with this spot. DYNAMO is a bit trickier as he doesn't have a character that easily compares to him in Overwatch, but if I had to pick one, it would probably be Zarya. While DYNAMO doesn't provide shielding for his team, he does offer healing when fights are getting rough. The biggest similarity between these two is their ults, as they both suck in enemy players for teammates to capitalize on with other damaging AoE abilities. Great Talon has a bow and arrow. Hanzo has a bow and arrow. Great Talon is Hanzo. But no, in all seriousness, they both share great mobility to get above enemies and have some big burst damage to shred through tanks. Too bad Great Talon doesn't get a dragon and a bird. Really? HAZE was a weird one to place because at first I saw the ultimate and thought, oh wow, that's the thing Reaper does. Which is true, but after the initial look, this character can be best compared to Sombra. She goes invisible to get in close with enemies to then blitz them with SMGs. They also both have a way to debuff other heroes with either the Sleep Dagger or by hacking them. INFERNUS is a speedy guy that likes to get in, laser enemies, and get out. Now there's no one who quite does the burn damage he does in Overwatch, but I think he does fit Tracer's playstyle. They both want to whittle down the health of their opponents by poking them while trying to stay mobile enough to not get caught in the process. The only big difference is Tracer is very squishy, and INFERNUS is almost impossible to kill late game with his healing. Ivy is a support character that does best when butting up with someone and attacking together. She has a tether ability that buffs herself and teammates, while her ultimate has Ivy drop an ally on the enemy team like a bomb from the sky. This act of sending someone in the fight feels just like using Ana with her Nano. It can swing a team fight in your favor, and both have good ways to deal with getting dove on. KELVIN has got some insane movement. When you build him with crazy speed, he can run from lane to lane on his ice path in seconds. This movement can only be compared to that of Lucio. You might not be skating off walls as KELVIN, but both heroes help their team catch up to enemies before they can run back to safety. Lady GEIST is a creepy lady that likes to drain your health and heal herself. You know who else likes to do the same? Moira. Now, Lady GEIST is definitely not as mobile, but if you like characters with base lifesteal, then she could be fun for you. LASH is all about mobility. He can grapple off of allies and enemies to leap through the air to get an opportunity to dive on an opponent. If you played lots of Doomfist during Overwatch, then he would be a great hero to try out in Deadlock, as both have insane abilities that keep them active in the fight. MCGINNIS revolves around setting up turrets to do the work for her. In the late game, these things can be a nuisance to deal with and have virtually no cooldown to placing them. She also has a Mei wall, but we both know that if you enjoyed Torbjorn, then MCGINNIS is right up your alley. Mo and KRILL may dig through the ground like Venture, but their tankiness and ability to dive right on top of enemy heroes is more similar to Winston than anyone else. You will have to aim more with this guy, but if you main the gorilla, then you're gonna like the potential with this duo. Paradox is a strange hero. She can put up some defensive walls that enemies can't shoot through to play around, and has a pretty damaging nade. She doesn't really fit anyone in the Overwatch cast, but she does have good poke potential like Sigma, and her barrier can help in the fight just like his. Pocket is a very evasive hero that has the ability to teleport in and out of fights safely. He can also hide away in his briefcase, making it impossible for enemies to harm him while inside. This nimble and protective kit makes me think more of a selfish Kiriko. You have a self Suzu and can teleport wherever you want without needing an ally in range. You might want to give Pocket a try if Kiri was your go-to. 7 loves building around his ultimate. You become a living Tesla that zaps anyone and everyone close to you in sight. It can easily swing a teamfight when used at the right time, just like how Reaper's ult can wipe multiple foes. Both can be dealt with by running or with a stun, but if they can't stop you, then it's GG. This maniac known as SHIV loves to be aggressive and jump at opponents any chance he gets. He is incredibly hard to kill and can inflict bleed with his dagger ability. Now this close range playstyle reminds me of how Junker Queen uses her kit to close the gap between enemies while being able to tank lots of shots in the battle. I mean, this one is just Widowmaker. Like, come on, look. Just look. VINDICTA is the sniper of Deadlock. If you have good aim and played lots of Widow, then I'm sure you're going to be able to carry with this blue lady. VISCOUS is a big pile of goo that is best at harassing others with some goofy abilities. Honestly, this pick is pretty loose, but I'm just going to say Wrecking Ball players might enjoy this one. Is it because of the ultimate? Yeah. Is that pretty much the only reason? Well, maybe. Try him out and see what you think of VISCOUS. WARDEN can be a carry machine when he gets online. His ultimate has him siphon health off enemies, and this allows him to dismantle people when chasing them down. This aggressive and tanky playstyle can be best compared to Ramatra, as he loves bullying other heroes by running them down with his ult similarly to WARDEN. One just, likes to punch a whole lot more. WRAITH's kit revolves around building damage off minions or enemy heroes to power up her first ability, which is a magic card. It can be used once enough damage is dealt and will seek onto enemy targets while exploding on them. If you were used to farming charge with Sojourn while having big damage output, then you should try out WRAITH. As well as damage, they both also share some great mobility with WRAITH's TP and Sojourn's slide jump. Lastly, we got YAMATO. She's a sword wielder with some great close range damage and an ult that makes her, well, unkillable. She's great at catching up to enemies and getting more value out of clumped up groups. If you were used to carrying on Genji, then Yamato will be a good pick for you. And yeah, that about does it for this video. I've really been liking Deadlock so far, and I'm excited to see where Valve's gonna take it. It feels like this game has some real potential with it already having over 100,000 people playing it daily. So yeah, let me know if you want to see more Deadlock, and thanks again for watching. Peace.